Hi, welcome back to today's video. I am Mr. JobShop, and in today's video we are going to discuss about operations around. Now you may ask me, what is the difference between by heart and prepare, right? By heart is where you have by hearted that in your head, and you can't think beyond and you can't talk beyond what you have memorized. Now, what I mean by prepare is, before you head into an interview, prepare on what is it that you are going to talk about. What are the things that you need to cover, right? Example, I'm going to talk very little about my personal life. Number two, I'm going to talk about, my company A, where I am going to talk in detail about my roles and responsibilities. Okay, if I have three or four companies, I am going to not stress a lot on my first company and second company. I will talk brief about them. Now make notes on what you intend to speak. Always prepare for your interview and do not by heart your interview, right? Now, continuing further with communication, okay, I am going to give you a logic which you need to remember when we refer to our communication. I'm going to introduce you to something which you know you would have heard in your past life, or I'm not sure if you've heard. This is called as MTI, which is mother tongue influence, right? Now, most of us misunderstand mother tongue influence to be the accent in which an individual talks, maybe a Malayali accent, or maybe a Tamilian accent, or a Bihari accent. It is not accent, remember that, right? Mother tongue is the language in which your brain thinks, okay? Now, I'll give you an example. Here's a classic example that I present in 90% of my interviews. मैं थोड़ा बाहर जाके आता हूँ. And I'll put this in other languages also. ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಕೊಂಚ வெளியே போயிட்டு வரேன். ഞാൻ കുറച്ച് പുറത്ത് പോയിട്ട് വരാം. Now what I hear, and I'm sure you will also say that I will just go out and come. Now this is the sentence that I hear from 100% of the population. While the correct English is I'll be back, right? Or I'll be back. I need to step out for a few minutes, or I'll be back in some time, right? Now, why am I talking in specific about MTI is because this is the language in which your brain thinks. So in an interview, if you are stuck and if you are thinking and talking, your brain can only think in your mother tongue, right? So you will make mistakes, you will make grammar mistakes when you think and talk. Now, our brain is also a supercomputer, remember? It can store information in the languages it received. Because as children, when we grow up, the first language that we adapt is our mother tongue. So our brain naturally adopts to thinking in mother tongue. But if you refer to your college life or your professional life, where the training is imparted in English, where the calls are in English, where you speak to your colleagues in English, this entire information is stored in our brains in English. So, ideally, in an interview, if you speak more about your professional life, there are very little chances that you will make grammar mistakes, right? So, avoid speaking a lot about your personal life and talk in detail about your professional life.